Hello, everyone. Welcome to the newest edition of On the Couch with the Dog's Boy. And today we have another special guest. Her name is Miss Angie Nixon. She is the owner of Cafe Resistance, a bookstore and coffee shop located off of Sutel in the north side of Jacksonville. This is a Black-owned, Black-operated coffee shop and bookstore that teaches accurate Black history and has a copious amounts of books, including banned books, by Black authors all around the world. But I'll let herself introduce herself the way she would like to.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So thank you for coming, Ms. Nixon. So first, let's start off. What led you to start a Cafe Resistance?
So I started Cafe Resistance because I wanted to push back against the Republican-led legislature in the state of Florida that has pushed the teaching of inaccurate history, particularly Black history, across our public school system here in the state of Florida. Not only that, there has also been books that have been banned in the schools, particularly related to, again, Black history, which is American history. And I just wanted to also help improve the reading scores located in Northwest Jacksonville. And in addition to that, wanted to ensure that when children walked into the bookstore, they saw books that were representative of them, that looked like them. It's too often kids go into bookstores or into libraries, and it's really hard for Black children and other children of color to see books that look like them. And so we wanted them to have a space where that is not the case and that they could see themselves in the books and in the characters. And so that was the main reason we decided to open the store.
Excellent. So how hard was the path to open up this bookstore? Because the main reason why I'm asking, because I as those who have lived and drove around the north side of Jacksonville, since the COVID era started, there had been a copious amounts of Black-owned businesses around the area that has closed. So how hard has the path been to open it at that location?
We're self-funding, and it's been tough. However, I actually got I actually applied to participate in the BINC, the Book Industries Charitable Foundation, into their incubator program for BIPOC, which stands for Black Indigenous People of Color. They had a cohort for new booksellers that were BIPOC. And so from that, I've been learning some valuable information on how to be a good bookseller, and it's been really helpful, and things have really been aligning itself. And not only are we a bookstore, but we are also a community hub which hosts workshops for children and the community. As it relates to mental health workshops, we have free tutoring programs. We also have free music lessons, and we've been able to lean on our nonprofit arm to help write grants to bring in and program the space. And so that's been super helpful. However, this has been over a year in the making. I'm just going to be honest with you. So we got the keys last year back in March. And we did not open until, a week ago, basically a week ago, really. And so it's been a long time coming, but we are in it for the long haul.
That's excellent. So I can hear your passion, and I know the listeners and the viewers, they can hear your passion too. What has been, I would say, your history in terms of, let's say, Black history and say book culture that led to you even having, let's say, the experience or the knowledge to even embark on something like this?
Well, I guess me being a community organizer and knowing and learning about movement and about the importance of knowing our past so that we won't repeat it if it's negative. I've been immersed in that. But I'm also a state legislator, so I am a state representative from Northwest Jacksonville. I represent Northwest Jax as well as the West Side and Riverside and Avondale and Murray Hill in Jacksonville, Florida. And it is really important for me, and I saw it. I felt like called to do this again because too often I am sitting in a room in Tallahassee where people not only don't want me there, but they don't want me to exist, period. And they don't want us to know our history. They don't want us to be in a place of power. And so it is very important to ensure that we create more spaces where people can come together and where they can learn that it's important for, us to get what we deserve in our communities. I believe that regardless of, how much money we make, what side of town we live on, what zip code we're in, we all deserve the opportunity to live healthy, prosperous, and safe. And unfortunately, there are some folks in power here in the state of Florida that don't want that to happen, and that's particularly one of the driving forces behind creating this space in the first place.
Wow. That makes total sense. That makes total sense, especially why you have the passion and the drive to do it. But since we're on the topic of concerning, let's say, Black business, what has been some of the struggles of being a Black business owner that you've gone through, let's say someone who's not Black probably wouldn't have to go through?
For sure. I think access to capital is number one, right? Like, I'm doing self-financing. Oftentimes when folks who don't look like me, they are able to ask people, come up with an idea, create an idea, and pitch it, and not even have to have the plan fully fleshed out. And they're at times able to get it fully funded. And that's just not the case for folks in the Black community too often. And so I am, self-funding and having to ask for donations as it relates to just different parts that our nonprofit is utilizing and is doing. And so I would say that's the main difference.
Right. That is very similar to the stories that previous Black business owners that we've interviewed have said concerning, there are certain issues that, let's say, our non-Black cohorts have to go through that we usually don't. Thank you for making that very known. But on to the topic of the types of books you have, because as I've said, you all sell banned books. So what are some of the different genres that are sold in terms of the books that you have by Black authors, and who are some of the, let's say, the notable authors too that you have books concerning?
So we have everything basically. I mean, like a typical bookstore. So we have futurism, we have fiction, nonfiction, young adult fiction. We have children's books, tween and teenage books, cookbooks. So we have a wide array, and some picture books, right? Some photography books as well. So we have a wide array of things.
That also includes graphic novels?
Yes, we have a few graphic novels. I am ordering some more this week, actually. We have a bad problem that just occurred. The majority of our shelves have been emptied from folks coming in to buy books. So it's been amazing to see.
That's very good, because part of the reason why I ask this is I know in a lot of our viewers watch and read and listen to our content knows a nerd culture, especially Black nerd culture, is my specialty. One of the things that I reviewed is a award-winning graphic novel by the name, or the first part of it, by the name of Bitterroot. Have you ever heard of that one?
No, I haven't. I got to look that one up.
But it's by Black comic creators who work for Marvel and DC and other companies, and it's actually being made into a movie on Netflix.
Okay, that's cool.
Yes,
Bitterroot. I'll have to check that one out.
Yes, ma'am. Bitterroot. But why do you think many of the books that you have sold and are selling and is going to sell, why do you think they have been banned?
So all of the books that I'm selling are not banned, but some of them are banned, and the reason they're banned is because they are empowering people and they are teaching true history and teaching the root of the systemic racism that we're dealing with today. And that's something that the folks in power don't want people to know. They don't want people to know that many times the reason that they are hurting or they don't have money or, they don't have generational wealth is because of systemic racism. They're trying to keep that hidden. And so this is one of the reasons that they're banned.
Right, which that's not surprising at all. That's not surprising at all. Now, in terms of it being a community space, what are some of the different things that is being used for as a space outside of just a bookshop?
Yeah, for sure. So outside of it being a bookstore and a soon-to-be open coffee shop and smoothie shop, we use the space for free tutoring programs, free music lessons. We are also about to gear up to start our workforce development programs where we're bringing some teenagers in to learn different industries, learn about different industries and get a little bit of hands-on experience. We also offer mental health workshops. We'll soon be having creative writing workshops as well as poetry nights and things like that. It's just going to be a really dope gathering spot.
That's very good. Now, and you said soon to be coffee shop and smoothie shop. So
yeah, that portion isn't open, so we should have that open prayerfully by late August.
Okay. What type of, let's say, specialty coffee drinks and smoothies do you think you may have? If you can talk about that.
Yeah, we'll have like espresso and iced coffee and, regular drip coffee as well.
That's very, very good. Where do you see this business, let's say, going in the next 5 years, 10 years?
So I see it as having improved reading scores in the neighborhood children. I see the business having helped hundreds of folks get their GEDs. And I see it having just been a place where people can come and just have a sense of community and work to actually build the community up better. And so it's not necessarily about profit for us. We do have the nonprofit that is operating in the space. It's just really about uplifting and empowering the community.
That's excellent. And I'm glad to hear that. And part of the reason why I wanted to interview Ms. Nixon, outside of just, you being a black business owner and doing the fact that you're doing something at this magnitude, and that means so much for black people, especially on the north side of Jacksonville, we get overlooked when it comes to many things. And the fact that you're trying to do something at this scale and do something like this out of your heart and using your expertise and your history of doing what you're doing, I know that's going to make a lot of people happy, and a lot of people that have kids, grandkids, nieces, and nephews, they're going to very much like that as well. They're going to, yes, ma'am.
Sure. Thank you.
You are very welcome, Ms. Nixon. But just before we get to the closing, was there anything you wanted to say to the viewers or listeners? Was there anything you wanted to say to me or ask me?
No, I would just say that, we hope folks come out and support. This is not my shop. This is our shop. This is our community space. And folks should just come on home. Excellent.
Well, Miss Nixon, where can they follow your journey and the bookstore's journey, on, let's say, across the different social media sites?
Right. So we're on social media. We are on Instagram at Cafe Resistance. We're on Facebook at Cafe Resistance Bookstore. I think we're on TikTok as well under Cafe Resistance as well.
Okay. And for those listening, you have that. And once the YouTube version is up too, I will most likely, like I always do, have visual versions of those sites listed in the video so that you can see it visually. But if that is all, Miss Nixon, I very much appreciate you for taking the time out to do this interview. It's always a blessing to have anyone who essentially wants to do good in the Black community to have on the show. And especially something which you're doing. I love reading. Reading is my number one pastime. So I thank you very much.
No, thank you too. And if you ever need to come and do a podcast from there and set up shop, feel free to do so. We had our first podcaster on Tuesday.
And again, everyone, don't hesitate to go and support her. And again, this will be uploaded to streaming and download platforms first once it gets edited. And this will later be put on YouTube soon after. But if that will be all,